on, is it? Okay.
Hey, try.
Didn't even think about it. Licked the lens.
No, gross.
Thank you for all your trash on me. It's like so obvious that I get to the whole baby thing.
Where are we going tomorrow? Are we gonna still stay at the hotel?
Why?
It is. That's what. You want to know something? Yeah. Wait a minute, can you look for a minute?
No.
Where's it? Smokestacks out of the houses.
July 7th, 1993. Looking at the Sacré-Cœur from the top of the Lafayette department store. And the Sacré-Cœur surrounded by Montmartre. Montmartre was an artist colony called that because it used to be vineyards, but why you see all this greenery around it. Okay. Really?
Yeah.
I think I know that.
Why you
I don't know.
send me the text. walk down a little further and take a picture of that statue. I spent $10. That's an insult. Wait, you have 5 friends with you, right? I have 250. So if you have 100, I have 50. You haven't got friends, so I have half of you. Yeah, I give $200.
And after, in the 15th century, the kings moved to the Louvre. And 200 years ago, you imagine, it was the jail of the poor Queen Marie Antoinette. She spent 74 days in jail in the fortress. I went to Versailles this afternoon, you will see her portrait of the poor Queen Marie Antoinette. The jails were recently restored 4 years ago for the celebrations of the 200-year anniversary of the French Revolution. So you can visit the jails and you can get to the courtyard behind the fortress to see the Sainte-Chapelle. See, there is a spire at the back side. That's the Sainte-Chapelle, which is interesting for collections of stained glass windows. On the left, a fountain, which reminds the military campaign of Napoleon in Egypt. You're going to see again on the left St. James Tower. On the left, St. James Tower, 15th century, high Gothic style. And St. James because of Spanish pilgrimage. And this tower was a meeting point for pilgrims going on foot to St. James of Compostela to Spain. So along the river you can see there are green boxes. Most of them are closed in the morning and they will be open on the afternoon. They are the bookists, they are little booksellers where you can buy postcards, books, second-hand books, prints, posters, bookists. And on this bridge on the left, that's the statue of the patron saint of Paris, Saint Genevieve. She's the patron saint of the city. On this bridge on the left. She protected Paris twice from invasion of the...
On both sides, in front of the 2 windows on both sides, you can see the statues of Adam and Eve. Now you see Adam on that side in front of the window and Eve on the outside. And right below you can see in the middle of the passage a gallery which counts 28 statues. There are the 28 statues of the kings of the Old Testament.
No.
Okay? And the statues are not original because during the Revolution they saw they were the kings of France, and during the Revolution they wanted to destroy all the symbols of the monarchy. So the old statues of the 13th century were broken, they were beheaded, and there are only copies now remaining on the facades from the 19th century. Because in the 19th century a very famous book was written by Victor Hugo with the Hunchback Quasimodo, the Gypsy Esmeralda, and they undertook a restoration of Notre Dame the 19th century, and they made new statues and new stained glass windows inside the church. So this portal here has a very strange statue. If I look to the left, the second statue from the door is quite strange with no heads. You see the second statue? A bishop of Paris during the 3rd century AD. A miracle, you know, he was beheaded first by the Roman because he was beheaded, he was Catholic, and he stood up, he took his head and he washed his head in the fountain and he crossed all Paris with a head on his head. And that's the legend of Saint Denis, who crossed the city with a head on his head. See? So this portal, this exit on the left, is dedicated to Virgin Mary, like all the church. And the church is Notre Dame. Notre Dame means Our Lady, Virgin Mary. So you can see above the two entrances, you see the pointed font, and on the top, that's the coronation of Virgin Mary. You can see sitting Virgin Mary and Christ, and on both sides kneeling with a candle, 2 angels. Right below, in the center, that's the resurrection of Virgin Mary. You see the 12 apostles and Christ, and you see, and Virgin Mary, the resurrection. And right below, on the right, there are 3 kings sitting with crowns, and on the left, 3 prophets, pondering, thinking about the resurrection of Virgin Mary. So I'm going to get closer after, but first I would like to show you here on the cobblestones, there is a kilometer zero from the point 0. The people are leaving the tombs, and you see them. And above the resurrection in the middle, you see a man with wings. That's Saint Michael. And Saint Michael has a scale. In the little scale of Saint Michael, there are little characters crying and the sounds of the people. And you see next to Saint Michael on the right, there is a devil. And you can see the devil is putting one head on the scale because he would like more people to come with him. Because all the right side on this portal is there. You see, on the side, on the curves, there are people falling into flames. You see the faces of the people suffering in the flames, little devils. On the right, there is a naked man on a horseback symbolizing the vices. And on the other side, on the left, that's heaven with little angels. So you imagine the people during the Middle Ages, they gave a lot of time, they gave a lot of money for the construction of churches like Notre Dame. It was the best way to have a reserved seat in heaven after. They didn't want to go to that side, of course. They wanted to go with the good people, with the angels, to the left side to heaven. You can see on the top like this, and that's the glory of Christ. You can see on both sides 2 angels, one with a cross, one with a spike, and they are the instruments of patience. And on the right you can see kneeling, that's Saint John, and kneeling on the left, Virgin Mary. Imagine before, all the statues of the entrances of the portals were painted with very bright colors because the people didn't know to write and to read, and looking into the statue they could learn the Bible. Like a... See, there is a Mexican flag. Okay, can you come closer, please? Si puede acercarse un poco, por favor. I stopped here because I wanted to show you the name of... I told you the building had a lot of problems during the construction of Notre Dame, and they wanted to build very, very high walls, and at the beginning they didn't know, didn't build the flying baskets around the church and to receive the weight of the wall. than at the back, you know, because the walls were falling apart. And during the 13th century, it wasn't in the project, they decided, because of this technical problem, they decided to build all around Notre Dame little chapels and flying batteries. The chapels on both sides were built between the flying batteries, and the flying batteries, the arches, really, as they receive the support, the walls of the church. And you can see the top of the boat, 105 feet high. The church is 390 feet long. And it is 9,000 people to enter the two-side of the church. So you will see in the chapel there are paintings from the 17th or 18th century, and they were offered by the corporation, the Guild of Paris. And for the Mexican people, you will see further down on the left, and there is a Mexican chapel dedicated to Nuestra Señora de Guadalupe. And it was given by Mexico, you will see an altar with a mosaic of the Virgin of Guadalupe and the Mexican flag. Can we go to the foyer? From the 13th century, 39 feet across, and they numbered on it 32,000 little pieces of glass. And the 32,000 pieces of glass are all linked with a structure made out of lead. That's lead to link and all the pieces. So this side is north, and north is a symbol of the Old Testament. The other side is south. This one is not original, it's from the 19th century. And during the 19th century they wanted to restore, but the problem, they had lost the techniques and the recipe formulas they used during the 12th and 13th centuries for the colors. And you can see really the difference between the rose window, which is original, and the windows right below with different colors, because they are copies, bad copies, made during the 19th century. Now we know exactly the formula they used before, and that's why the upper windows are very modern with very modern design, but they have exactly the colors than during the 12th or 13th centuries. But in France, and the way they are restoring, they don't want to make a copy, a bad copy, they prefer to make a new stainless window with new design instead of bad copy. That's for the colors. They use the old formulas, copper, gold, manganese, cobalt, that's for the colors. The main color is blue, because the formula for blue was so perfect that blue didn't change through the centuries. After 700 years, and the blue is really the same, it didn't change. Of course, they were restored, and you can imagine during the two wars, all the stainless windows of the church were removed and hidden down below in the crypt. Because of the war of the bombing. But the city wasn't bombed during the war, wasn't too bombed, only few factories the German used. So I would like to take you to the foyer to show you the coronation, exactly the place where Napoleon crowned himself.
put all the technical parts of the building, all the pipes for electricity, water, or air conditioning outside the building, and to move the ceilings, the floors inside to adapt the center to the temporary exhibition they organized in Pompidou Center. So that's Pompidou Center on the right with the blue pipes, the modern art center from 1937 inside, and there is also a public library. It's a public hospital on the left. So as every month a little bit of the salary is given to the social security, so when we go to hospital we don't pay. We're going to cross the Lippe and the Sainte-Chapelle. See on the right, stained glass windows, and they're original from the 13th century. On the left, that's the Latin Quarter, and the Latin Quarter is the students' quarter with all the universities and colleges and schools.
Oh, you're using the camera?
Yep.
They're almost like $7. Oh, I know. We were paying $2 for like $10 of that. Or $2 for like $16.
Okay, so bonjour again. Good afternoon. Bonjour. How are you? Fine? Très bien. So, the traffic is not too bad. We need about 25 minutes from here to get to Versailles. So, when we are in Versailles, we're going to divide the groups because the maximum for groups in Versailles are 30 people each group. So it's better to divide, and we have to divide the group, so we have two different visits. We have a first visit at 1:10 and a second visit at 2:20. So for the first visit of at 1:10, I would like about Queen who lived in Versailles. So we see at this church, which was restored with gold leaves, 18-karat gold. All the painted ceilings were clean because they were very black and because of the smoke of the candles, and it had before very big chandeliers. Then we'll cross a series of rooms which are dedicated to the gods and goddesses of the Roman mythology. You will see the classical style is a return to the Roman style, and the Roman mythology will cross Diana, Venus, Mercury, Mars rooms, all used for feasts and receptions, ceremonies of the etiquette. Then they will cross the Hall of Mirrors, the very famous gallery where the Treaty of Versailles was signed in Marie Antoinette's apartment and was Marie Antoinette's bedroom. On the right for the moment, this round-shaped building is the Radio and Television Broadcasting Center, Radio France, built in 1963. And we're going to cross now a part of the district number 16, which is the most expensive district of Paris and very elegant district. And we leave Paris by Auteuil Gateway Square. They were so proud to have this job, they didn't think about a plot against the king. And they were very busy. They didn't have time to plot because they had to be in the king's bedroom every morning, every evening, because he was going to bed in public too. And he was eating in public, so people stood in front of the king's table looking to the king when he was eating in public. And they were so busy to dance, to listen to music, the brain didn't have time to think, to plot against Louis XIV. So style, this French style, to all over Europe, cupboards. So I created a factory, and the savonnerie. He wanted French tapestries, so he created Les Gobelins, and for the mirrors, Saint-Gobain, few and very big apartments. And Louis XV inspired, he was living in a very nice Paris with all the furniture gilded and with all the rooms gilded. Louis XV didn't have money, the fourth to Mrs. the last. And after a common baptism, they got names.
Dang, we're trying to sell everything here.
I know, they totally raise you once you get off the bus.
I know. Maybe we should catch up with them. I don't think they're fun.
No, but that cobblestone's different.
Yeah.
John, you gotta get this first. I think it's one way good. What is that?
You know, it's my kids.
One of them was sitting next to one of my kids.
What does she look like?
One of her neighbors, something like that. I think somebody was sitting on the lap. Way up there, way up there. Yeah. This belong to anybody? For the people having the second visit. At 2:15, I will meet you at the statue, on that side of the statue, to take you inside. All right? Okay. So I told you in the bus in Versailles, there was a little Handelnage, a little castle. That's the third bedroom. So something crazy, there was the etiquette. So the king or the queen had to go to bed in public to the official bedroom. And after the ceremony, they could wake up, they could sleep in another bedroom, but every morning the king had to come back to this. That's in the state of the queen. She went to bed in public, and after she slept in another bedroom apartment. On both sides you can see two wings. This wing is quite different because dating back to Louis XV. The first one was exactly like this one. Louis XV didn't like it, so he pulled down the wing to start the construction of a new one. But that's the style you can find on Concord Square. The two wings on both sides. Next to the gilded gate over there, the fence, they could find a little house to buy or to rent a sword and a hat. They were like the ticket to enter and to see the king and the queen eating. You know? And imagine that robbers and thieves could enter, and sometimes curtains embroidered with gold and silver disappeared, stolen by people. Only the monks, the monk who wanted austerity, couldn't enter the palace of Versailles. On both sides of the ground, there are military offices. The two stables. So for the people, for them to have 3,000, you imagine the king was on the wheelchair, he was visiting the garden, the fountains were working. No, the fountains work only on Sunday afternoon because they cost a lot of money. They work with electricity. At the time, there was a man who ran from a fountain to a fountain. He was announcing the king was coming. They switched off the fountain to open another one, etc. And he was the first tour guide of Versailles. He wrote a guidebook, the way to show the gardens of Versailles. They sell in the bookseller of Versailles. And you have to start by that side. You're going to go to the left. See the archway on the left? You're going to go there. You will be in the Queen's Gardens. When you're in the Queen's Garden, you cross diagonal all the gardens. You will see at the end there is a white rail. And down below, you have to go very close to this rail. Down below, you will see outside about 1,000 trees, like palm trees, pomegranate, lemon trees, orange trees. And this is the greenhouse on the side. And you will see that. So you don't miss that and go to the rail across the garden this way. And after you can walk all around like this, and you will leave the garden by the other archway on that side to come back to the house to meet me. Okay? Okay. So the people over 18 years old can go now. At 2:15, 5 minutes before 2:15 on that side. So now I keep with me.
All my kids
now,
stay here.
under 18 years old and 2 adults, 2 teachers.
I needed me and the person from the new group that came in. Teacher from the new group.
How many do you have?
That's you. Okay. The two of us will stay, okay?
Okay, she's there.
So you and
So, Sophia, no flash inside, no flash. Okay, so during the visit, if you want to listen something, you have to help me because it's very huge and very big, noisy. One of the kings of France, and it's a Palatine chapel, which means separation between the king and the courtiers, the noble people. During the services, the people were downstairs, and the king and his family were here on the tribune, on the balcony, where you can see the carpet. And the idea of the monarchy in the 15th century was the king was chosen by God. So the people downstairs, they couldn't see to the piazza, to the cross of Jesus. They couldn't show the back to the king, so they showed the back to the cross, to the altar downstairs. Imagine all the people downstairs looking at the king standing on the balcony with his family. He was chosen by God that all the French kings have the idea to be chosen by God. So the church has also produced for soldiers, for services, not usually longer to afternoon and reading. The last one, remember, who got married here with the king and Mary afterwards. On the painted ceiling, you can see the parallelism between the New Testament and the Old Testament. All the ceilings were restored, like the gilded doors of color with gold near 18 carat gold. And that's the original floor here, a marble floor. In the other rooms, you won't see the floor any longer because it's the 19th century. So you see the start of this tapestries to remind us the collections of the king, which was behind the gilded doors. During the 3 nights of feast, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, they could find here 3. We're going to see this from at the end of the visit. Here for the people of the court. They couldn't eat together. It's there So this is Venus room, and this room was for the avoid any fire. And remember, 6,000 meals a day were prepared inside. So in Venus room, you can see And the decoration was a trompe-l'œil. You see on both sides two paintings to give a three-dimensional effect to enlarge the room. And they use this technique for the two statues by the windows that are painted with a shade. The statues are round. Louis XIV wanted to have the most beautiful statue of the world with noble marble buildings, with marble. They didn't think about washroom. They had steel chairs, 200 hygiene of water during the 17th century. Well, sure, because we know all the days in life that people wrote about it. Was the little Las Vegas on the side, imagine the middle, a snooker, a billiard of 100 kilos of silver. The first generation of piece of furniture was made out of silver or gold, massive, plain silver. And Louis XIV led so many military campaigns, he built so many buildings like the war museums, military cannons built. There are three corners, this one, and this one, symbolizing all the coalitions, European countries organized against France. They wanted to stop the kings of France. And this corner was built symbolizes the trade which started between France and India. In some countries, some cities of India, south of India, still speak French. Okay? So, 1 square meter was 1 year of work for one worker. 1 year for 1 square meter for one worker. Because they could work only 3 hours a day. After 3 hours, they were so tired they had to stop. Now, of course, that 3 workers were working from 7 to 10 in the morning. All the workers from 10 to 1 extra. They did, because imagine girls working together all the day long, they make the carpets up to the 14th. And they're still making the same carpets for very, very rich people, of course. And they are 300 years old. This one. The painting, that's a disciple of Emmaus by Veronese, was the bedroom of the king. During 1 year, Louis XIV was waking up and going to bed in public in Mercury room. About Louis XV, Louis XVI, and Mary Antoinette. He played right here. Let's go. Okay, so this is Apollo. As the treasury was empty, he had to nail down all the pieces of furniture, and his own throne, his throne was nailed down to make coins. It was about 8 feet high and heavily made out of silver. So in this room we can see the famous portrait of the history books, and Louis XIV, the heels, the wig. On the other side you can see that Louis XVI, the last king who lived in Versailles, the king who was beheaded on Concord Square during the Revolution because one night he tried to escape to go to Austria. And he was identified with a coin. I will tell you in a bus. So you can count the flash of forbidden again. You can count 6 chandeliers made out of gilded bronze. They were before in the Hall of Mirrors. In the Hall of Mirrors, you're going to see the same ones, but they are made out of plastic in the Hall of Mirrors. The original ones are here. The other ones, the original ones, are in private collections. Yes, from the 18th century. And you can see a little bit smoke in the centuries. And the carpet is original. You see the 2 sons of the Sun King and the 2 heirs, Antoine heir of Louis, and the Sun King Louis XIV. And imagine that Louis XIV walk on these carpets. So we're going to see now the Hall of Mirrors. Get off anything. They couldn't jump actually, yeah? So the ceremony, but she was undressed, but only a ceremony like this. She went to bed with a dress, and after they closed the curtain, everybody left, and she went to another bedroom to sleep. Only to have the people bed. So that's the brother of Marie Antoinette, the mother of Marie Antoinette, and facing the bed, the husband with the 16th.
That's a good likeness of him. He wasn't really that good looking, was he?
Yeah, he is young here. He became very sad.
I think it was the other battery that flashed. That's what caused it. I'm always running out of battery in this one.
Sunny 20 minutes.
It pours every day in the summer. Every day next year.
No, in California, we just like listen, all of my kids get sick because they're all kind of smelled in the shorts and the rains that stand up.
Sleeved in case it's cold, particularly if it's rough. It's best to be outside anyway, that way you won't be feeling ill. Secondly, you won't be able to get to your luggage. We'll be putting the luggage on racks before we get onto the ferry, and you'll be getting it back when we get to the other side before you go through customs. So make sure tomorrow morning when you pack, you have everything with you in your hand luggage which you might possibly need for that journey. You won't be able to get your suitcases at all. Now tonight we'll be going straight from the Mont Saint-Michel to Saint-Malo. We'll be having the guided tour of Saint-Malo straight away. Now that'll finish at about 6 o'clock, and we're eating at 7 in town, right near where the coach will be dropping us off. Now, so in that hour, if anyone would like to go to the perfumery, I'll take you straight there after the guided tour. But we won't be able to get back into the coach between then and dinner. So remember that whatever you buy, if you decide to buy something big, remember, don't leave it behind in the restaurant. Look after your stuff. We'll be getting back onto the coach after dinner to go to the hotel, which isn't too far away. But all our bags will be on the coach, so we'll be going there after dinner. We'll be at the hotel probably at about 8:30. And then anyone who wants to come back into town, you can wander back into town yourselves, and anyone who wants to stay at the hotel can do so. I'll be phoning up the hotel when we get to Mont Saint-Michel to find out the rooming for tonight, so we can discuss that between Mont Saint-Michel and Saint-Malo, so you can sort yourselves out into groups. What might be a good idea is, if I can have
one raise of hands of everyone who is not going to be eating fish. People have told me at different times, and I want to make sure I've got everyone down. People who are not going to be eating fish tonight. Keep your hands up, I haven't counted yet. Just a minute. Sandy, can you tell me how many people are there in your group? Because I can't see behind the fence.
My group are back here.
Yeah, just, well, right back there. All there. Is that including 7 people? Is that including Virginia's group? So if you can tell me how many in Virginia's and Gay's group. Okay. And Mike, you've got 2 people in your group. 3 people in your group. And 1 in Catherine's group. And none in Terry's group?
That we can do it back
You're
here.
not meeting
So you've got 8 people at the back there, is that right?
Yeah, we can do it back here.
Okay, so that's 8 people, 3 people in Mike's, that's 11, and 1 in Catherine's, that's 12.
Well,
Okay.
wait, Annabelle, 2 of mine are back there. I think they counted mine in the 8.
All right.
by groups, okay?
No, they are, but I can't see very well.
Why doesn't everybody point their hands? Everybody yell at a number.
All right, you can tell me this time, I know I'm going to get an and you're going to eat fish? She said yes or no?
Uh-huh.
Okay, Mike, you're going to eat fish?
How many here? 9. Fishers.
Liz,
He's not going to eat fish.
are you going to eat fish or not?
There's an omelette called the omelette de la mer poularde, which is a very creamy omelette. And in fact, when we go up the road of the Mont Saint-Michel, just on the left, at the bottom of the hill, you can see people making the omelette. Otherwise, you could try a crepe, like a pancake. You either have them with sweet things in or cheese things, and they're very good too. So that's some ideas of what you might want to have for lunch.
Make sure you hold it down halfway first. Hold it halfway.
Now we're going to be having a tour of the Abbey, and the tour is going to be starting at 2:30. So I would like everyone to meet at 2:15.
No.
And where we'll be meeting, there is only one road on the Mont Saint-Michel, so you can't get too lost. You go all the way up, walk up the path, you'll come to some stairs, you go up the stairs, you follow the directions for the entrance to the Abbey, you carry on going up the stairs, eventually you'll get some stairs to the left, and you'll see an archway. Just beyond that archway there's a big flat area. I'd like everyone to meet there at 2:15. You just go carry on up, walking up the hill until you walk under an arch, and there's a flat area. In front of you you'll see some steep steps going up to where you buy the tickets. I'd like everyone to meet just the other side of that arch. Just make your way up the road, up the stairs. The stairs will then go around to the left, go up those stairs under the arch at 2:15, if we could meet there. So when you've had something to eat and had a look around, we'll meet there at 2:15. Now the tour is supposed to take an hour, sometimes takes a little bit longer. Now a lot of people get bored. If you really are bored, or maybe Virginia's group, I don't know, if you find that she explains too much and you're really not following and you're not interested, ask to leave. Explain why and ask to leave. They're sometimes not that happy about people leaving in the middle of the tours, but if you really don't want to stay, feel free to leave. Now, our second meeting point is going to be back at the coach here in the car park. And we are going to be meeting here at 3:45. That's 3:45. Now, if the tour takes a little bit longer, then obviously you may be a little bit late. But I'd like everyone to try and be here at 3:45. You really must do. We have to be meeting our guide at 5 o'clock at Saint Malo, so please do not be late. Come here directly after the tour has finished, so make sure you've done all your souvenir shopping beforehand. You've got plenty of time to do that. It's only 12:40 now. So our first meeting point is going to be at 2:15 rather, excuse me, at the top, just below the stairs where I'm going to be buying the tickets at 2:15.
there. We'll see what we're right back.
You like that, Miss Gill?
Yeah. She's taping me too, so. She's taping me what? My face isn't even there. To drink.
Being on your face for like 20 minutes.
Run that way. find two buildings, one close to the other. Two buildings of three levels steps. But you may guess we're here on the top level of one of the buildings in the point. Now, the Gothic hall is known as the marvel of the miracle. It took only 17 years to build that. And in the very beginning of the 13th century, it appeared to be a miracle. And you may wonder what Saint Michel would come and help. In fact, if it took only 17 years now to manage, we can go on quickly. Otherwise, this spot is known as the marble. It's actually good. So that the only thing to explain what's in such a building, middle of nowhere, was what a marvel it is. And that's why we call it the marble. Right, we are now in the cloister, and beneath the cloister we have a scriptorium. And further down there is the cellar. Cellar, scriptorium, cloister. I really lay emphasis on these three levels, because at the end of my tour, maybe you've already noticed I'm not the usual guy, which means that my habits are unusual. What I mean is that at the end and during my tour, I ask a few questions. So, if I have to so it's that at the end of my period, at the end of the tour, there are always settled. They are settled in staggered rows.
Pull my hair. I pulled her hair. I go, oh my gosh, your hair's thick. I pulled her hair.
Oh dear. You pulled my hair.
Well, your hair's thick. You go in the back, and pinch it right in the back of the neck, right where the hair is. Right with a little bit of hair.
Well, it's her fault. It's supposed to be a 1 hour tour, that.
Are you driving? Oh, Lordy.
I was speaking to one of the other tour directors who lives in Sam Island. She's a qualified guide and she does it in 1 hour easily. She said, which guide have you got? And I said, 9 courses. She said, You're going to be an hour and a half, so it goes on.
Mike, get that spray stuff sprayed over here, please.
Did you look it? Yeah, they do, they're not. So other people don't get in. You aren't getting paid.
Oops, I can take a picture, please.
Me too.
I was gonna say.
You're going to get you in the
Yeah, it makes me feel good.
Lots of plenty on that thing.
Here's an experience to remember.
What are you eating?
You right to sit here. I can be a tour guide. I mean, say you can go. You don't go.
Should I have mayonnaise on it?
Okay, go on, be a tour guide.
Why are your lips so white then?
Plus you're blind. You know what? So as soon as I go, there's a car. There's a rock. There's a house.
It's not there. I'm serious. Jeez, don't believe me.
Put it with an English accent as well.
What?
I put it there.
I got it with this. Yeah.
Okay.
See where the red flag is? Go right at the red flag to see the map. We figure we'll make you do it. Gotta wait for the guys to get ice cream too. What? The little kid is with Bob and Rob. She wanted ice cream. She was waiting for her dad. Couldn't find her dad, so Bob and Rob are buying her ice cream. Where's her dad? Is he on the bus?
How many of these have you done?
Going where it's warm.
First? Well, I do most of my traveling to a college wedding. Oh, a college. California, right around Travis. No, that was somebody else. San Francisco? No, LA?
Together and two will be together. However you'd like to work it. Anyway, so it's 5 quadruples for the girls, one of which has already been taken. So 4.
I'd say something, but that's...
We should put you in that.
No, I'm not her.
Lots of the you too. This was lost from Texas City. This was Texas City.
And I don't know what this is. I think Arthur is getting all the hours. I would like to know. Yeah, I can decide that would be fine.
Okay, so the first thing to say about this castle, so this is the castle from Saint-Malo, but not the castle from the people of Saint-Malo. Actually, so this castle was built in order to watch the people of Saint-Malo. Because actually, people of Saint-Malo were very specific. They were very independent. So maybe as you know here, so we are in Brittany, but people from Saint-Malo had a motto, which was actually the first, I am from Saint-Malo, Breton, maybe, French, if there's anything left. See. And so actually, so at many times, they tried to be independent. So, actually, so the oldest part of the castle is the highest one, so the keep, which is from the very beginning of the 15th century. Fortunately, so mainly damaged by the American bombing of 1942. Actually, because actually, so the Germans were settled down in Europe. And so actually, so the American troops so landed in Normandy on the 6th of June, and so Saint-Malo became free only on the 12th of August. And so actually, so unfortunately, 80% of the town were destroyed. Come back inside the French kingdom. But instead of being punished by the French kingdom, actually, so they gave control and got new privileges. For example, they didn't pay any income. And all the goods were coming in and out of the harbor of Saint-Malo were not taxed either. But they've got one privilege left, which is the French. And see a lot of slides talking about the French. It was built at the very end of the especially so it made a big trouble in Saint-Malo. So until the French Revolution, so you had actually some criminals on both. Chateaubriand. Actually, so this man was a very famous writer from Saint-Malo. He was born in Saint-Malo and then so traveled all around the world, but so died in Paris. And so 20 years before his own death, so he chose this place in order to be buried. Because actually, so before Brittany became a Christian area, so this place was probably a place of pagan cults. And so as far as this writer was a very tortured out mind, so he decided to be buried in here, so at the axe, so standing alone, facing the sea. And so the name of this writer from Saint-Malo was Chateaubriand. And so at the end of the visit, so we'll see the house where this statue. And then we're going back to North America, to Quebec. Was very interested by this first expedition, and so we decided to finance the second one. And so in 1535, the difference between the pirate and the privateer was working either for the emperor. So in this case, he was working for the emperor, Napoleon. Okay, so this building is a typical ship owners building from Saint-Malo. Actually, all the ship owners from Saint-Malo, so when they used to settle down in here, so used to build, actually, so the highest house they can afford, the building for a family. The other thing which were allowed by the time to run the Orioles. So actually, so there is a plan to cable in order to get rid of the Orioles. But actually, so they succeeded to keep the character of Saint-Malo. Finish the visit in here. Okay, so as you can see, this is the place where Chateaubriand was born. Actually, so this is the man who was buried on the island we saw before. So he was born in this house on the 4th of September 1758. And so at the top, just above the door, you've got the banners with the armorials of his family, which says actually, mon sang atteint les bannières de France, which means, so my blood stained the banners of France. So actually, so this motto was won by one of his ancestors during the Crusades. Actually, so one of his ancestors was a soldier, so succeeded to save the king's life. And so saving the king's life, so he was wounded, and so his blood went on the king's clothes. And so that's why you got this with the red, which symbolizes the blood, and so the fleur de lis, which is actually the symbol of the kingdom. Then we've got 4 statues. So,
Yeah, it is different. I don't know if it changed something.
Yes, you may go with her. Junior? Yes, you may go with her. Yeah, let's go see if there's anything else. Yes, you may go. You know who's going.
So are we going to see more? Right here. You want to carry that? Are you going? So you might help her. Actually, I don't know why she brought it. Are you going to Panama? What? Are you going to Panama?
You gonna watch? Where are you going? We'll be back here 5 to 7. We're going to the beach.
Plus, you got a 23. And you got a 23.
Me? Yeah, I do.
And they take commission on their traveler's checks.
No.
She looks good.
They almost won.
She's like sister.
Almost. Huh? I got plenty of work. Come on. He doesn't. I do.
Who do you want to win? Who do you want to win? Okay. Who do you want to win?
Not sure.
I actually live up north.
Is that your name of me?
All we learned was stories. I learned how to write a research paper those 2 years.
I'm throwing up to your copy.
Yeah, that's good. Alright. So that's 50.
How much?
I made 50. $50 and my $700 cash.
Oh, wait a second.
Just let your video camera again.
Where? Rolling.
Let you go in the English. Let you.
That videotape You're only what, an inch taller than me? Shut up.
That's because every
Shut up.
What?
From each other?
I wanted to get you 4 green apples. They were big, they were green, and they were good.
Now it had a 1 point for it, so.
I want, no.
Yourself.
They played this song at the club. That's a good song on the boat. At the club. Played a lot. I asked what's his name. I go, you know the song? He's like, no. I go, do you like? No. I go, I like. I do. That's how. That's what I told me.
I know.
Just went back. No, only 4 rolls.
Okay, that's it. I'm trying to avoid I feel like I'm sorry, but I don't have a film budget. Life goes on.
Wait, what happened in
The most enjoyable thing here was going up in the Eiffel Tower. Hey, she's original. Mom! I said that!
Peace to the motherland. When I eat your...
You could stop for a minute. It's not going to kill you. Come over here. Come over. It's serious.
Right now. Right now. Where are we looking?
Look at Adrian. Guess what? Let me
There we go.
You know what?
Okay, here we are in the boat. Now, you probably don't know me, whoever is watching this, but I'm just somebody using this camera. I stole it, you know.
Yeah, I guess it could be pretty good. Yeah.
We live with Dornavik tomorrow. Really?
Eventually.
I'm going to London first and then going back to Michigan, but see you later.
Have fun.
Yep.
think you took. He's being stuck in the butt. Dr. Comment. Turn it off. Turn it off. Turn it off really fast. I want you to say something. Looks like me. Oops. Hi, Ann. How are you?
And who are you?
I'm Dawn. Oh, Angelina. Her name was Florida. I'm Sandy. Saw your friends are Singapore. Saying things good. Everything's coming small. Good. Good. Right, good things come in small packages. Oh! You get up.
You have a weird mind, Aaron. I want to talk to Aaron. And you do have a problem with taking video pictures of people coming out of the shower.
I didn't take her coming out of the shower. They're funny though.
Yeah, irritates me trying to look but I'll live. Besides, on the last day, we're going to have a blast.
We had one of these before Tricky Dicky was ever born. It was built during the reign of King Edward I and designed as an access point for stores and prisoners. Because the gate led directly onto the waters of the River Thames, the name obviously the Water Gate. But over the years, the majority of people who were brought into the worked class and being traders. And so the name gradually changed from Watergate to Traitor Gate. Through here, came such people as Queen Anne Boleyn, Queen Catherine of Aragon, Bishop Blackburn, Whitney, in fact, hundreds of people entered through the Traitor Gate. One of their better as Mary Queen of Scotland. Contrary to popular belief, she never ever entered the Tower of London. In fact, she never ever unexecuted at a place called Fotheringay Castle, which is 90 miles north of London, near the city of Northampton. She was then buried in Peterborough Cathedral. And years later, when her son, King James VI of Scotland, became King James I of England, and his mother's body exhumed and brought down to Westminster and east of the world. And having built it, he realized he had recently out of the head. And so he ordered that the executive power be built along the gate. It all collapsed. They told King Edward I that the reason this tower kept collapsing was because the ghost of the unexpected was seen at night walking through the large building knocking off the road of that side and weight using a simple system of of Romans at Louis. In 1826, when the Duke of Wellington came here as the Constable of the Tower of London, he had a ship windows installed on the lower floor. Now that wardrobe can be easily raised.
Where are the ravens?
See, they are actually royal coats of arms. That denotes that this building here is still a royal palace. Although, of course, today it's no longer a royal residence. However, it was from the top floor of that building there that the kings and queens of England ruled our country for over 500 years. It contains the nation's collection of medieval arms and armor, including, in the basement, the items of restraint and punishment, a full-size rack to fit all known sizes of child, plus the do-it-yourself divorce kits. Any problems, you know where to go. The entrance to this tower is via the large wooden staircase on the southern side here. But its story is never complete without mentioning the ravens. If ravens leave the Tower of London, then the White Tower here will collapse and there will be no more kings and queens of England. Since the reign of King Charles II in the 1660s, we have been ordered by Royal Charter to keep a minimum of 6 ravens here inside the Tower of London. Today, we have a total of 8. These birds all have their own names, they have their own regimental numbers, they actually form a part of the Tower's military garrison. Their well-being. He's the man who feeds them, he grooms them, he takes them to the veterinary surgeon in London Zoo if they're not feeling too well. Once a month, he trims the flight feathers on one of their wings so they don't fly away. Now, I know it's cheating, but it's less cruel than nailing one of their feet to the floor, isn't it? Raven Master, believe me or believe me not, but this is honestly true, he puts these birds to bed every night. They all have their own individual centrally heated cages with running water in the large aviary in the right-hand arch of that wall just over there. In here, we have everything we need, including our own private little pub. We even have our own private following year, 1542, Henry V Queen Catherine Howard. All the articles before we go in, briefly the layout of the tower. Some of the finest animals we have in this country of late there is one of my colleagues on duty now, and he was
Got a picture of a guard.
that you wish to have any here, maybe the narrow dark building next to that is the lamp above the door. That is the home of our doctor. He naturally resides next to the chaplain. This long building here, the Waterloo block, was built in infantry regiment, formed here in the year 1685, smoking, filling up all the rows of seats from the front.
stuff maybe.
Right.
Honestly, a lot of the fridge as well.
You see, actually, in the viewfinder,
Yes.
because the lens looks like you're about at our waist.
I'm what?
It looks like you're taking a picture about at our waist and nobody has any lens.
No, you can back us to the 8. That's not.
Okay, go for it.
Go kids.
But can we go inside?
Emily McQueen. When she has her birthday.
Thank you.
She treats everybody at the school tree.
Everybody?
Well, whenever she has her parades, or when, Prince Charles and Di got married.
What did they give when they got divorced?
They go up
do everything in reverse.
Hey, that rhymes. Did you just put film in it or what?
No,
That rhymes.
maybe it's water, I don't know.
No, mine doesn't do it.
Clicking it to push
Wait, when it's not in flash, it won't work. I mean, when it's not in focus, it doesn't work like mine.
What?
Really, the funny is, when you go and visit like Roman villas here,
They buy the best of what from what we produce.
Yeah. When I was here before, I was watching TV. There's 20 towers though. He told the kids, you just bought a ticket. Let's see the
right.
talking about?
Where?
I don't actually know why it's called circus.
Oh, they have Arby's too.
Well, they say that, so, and yet, you know, you were listening to this.
Don't sit down. Your hair's for business. This is the candy. That's
He's doing for a tune-up tomorrow.
Oh, there was one.
Two breaks?
And you want a great shot for that?
It's 1987. I admit to this age since 1987.
It's about death, probably. Oh, I know.
Jennifer?
Or Sandy.
Earlier on, you were asking about why Americans got the reputation of being arrogant and brash. We went to Stratford, I knew it.
Why don't you take a picture of them?
Of the what?
Coach asked if Americans
I'm not taking.
pulled that.
I'm taking a picture of everyone. Don't worry.
Okay, she's getting your commentary on film.
Heidi melted into the background.
Really funny. No, I got real upset. I was about. How much is it supposed to be? You're just gonna sit in the other room.
There's one picture of you and I'm going to sleep.
How much is it supposed to be?
I'm going to sleep. 12
What? Yeah, two beers.
There's 12 pounds here. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Fall out that way.
In fact, it's more than that.
12, 10.
No, it's more.
I hate my face.
Oh yeah, I want to take a picture of this.
Don't do that. Stop it.
I didn't just speak to you, right?
It's going to be on film, living color, with audio. I like the music, we just don't talk about it.
Very classic. My joy of life. It's the reason why I'm living costumes.
Get that video camera off my face.
How about this?
Goodbye.
And the one that it's in Stratford that I ate in the pub. One of my most favorite creatures. It was the slug and cabbage. No.
Actually,
We
no,
used to
I'm,
go-
Why?
there is one called the Slug and
I
Cabbage.
know. I ate there. And I took pictures of it.
Where's this?
Mine.
I see
You won't
that.
want to eat at the
I
slug.
know it. I know it.
And she wants
You know,
to move
in
to
the US,
Seattle.
In the U.S., oh yeah, the big banana slice.
No.
That's, oh yeah.
banana slugs are like this. They have banana slug races. They have banana slug
There's
festivals,
actually
they have banana slug
a
tests.
university is called their
It's all
mascot.
behind you.
Banana. Have you heard
The
that?
thing is this big. Well, they said anybody that's, spends that much time in the rain, and the two things that they talk about that they're known for are banana slugs and gooey dips.
Whenever my parents,
It's a good
a job, or people trying to.
It's hard to explain. Nick, can you explain what a gooey duck is?
Okay. It's a clown with an extended beard. But the beard is part of its body, and the beard comes up. Okay, it's a drop. Okay, you know how clamshells have the big clamshells?
Mm-hmm.
Clam.
Clams. Now they're in the, underneath the sand, right? And then it's like, I don't want to use this word.
Well, it is. So, oh, it's snails in France.
Actually, the salmon.
I've had it here. I've had it
salmon
in
they
the US
have here,
before.
so they
I hate
get- they get it all.
Does taste like... But there's less of it, right? Because it's so skinny.
A little teeny drumstick.
You guys think it's about this big?
You don't get frogs running around the farmyard.
But if you get a chance to have us with salmon tomorrow, you should have some.
See? They put it
Right. Well, do you recognize it?
That's not Big Ben either. It can't be Big Ben.
Maybe this is Little Ben.
It's not Big Ben. It's just a big clock.
Little Ben. See, that, you know when I watched I get asked about that all the time. I bought this on British Airlines. British Airlines.
Huh?
Yeah. Because my mom was supposed to be in charge of time, and I took care of all the other arrangements. And she would never, my dad's got a little older than me, she would never set her clock or watch ahead so that it was right. So every time I'd ask, and that's all she was supposed to do, every time we went to anything, do that because she couldn't read the maps or anything. I said, okay, Mom, because I would never wear a watch. And since then I've always wondered, but I never would. That's for 2 years ago wearing a watch. And so I'd ask her what time, and she'd start not a morning person at all. You don't even talk to her until 1 or 2. We called it
I just had a free beer.
What?
It's really nice.
Anyhow, so she wouldn't, she'd count backwards, and we called my sister-in-law, like at 4 o'clock in the morning.
It's like this. Mine's like this. Mine's like
Your name goes
like this. But now his is like this. His is like this. They changed his name to this. First it was cute, and then they changed it to pain in the neck.
A girl.
Fine.
Hi?
Better for you.
She told you how many times
Yes,
she's had her
we all know what your name is. Okay, here. See if I got it. Seriously, okay? It goes like this.
It's true. Yeah, all over the house. Okay.
You used to.
And wait, I'm not done. I'm not done. And
As bad as one time she taught it right when we were painting.
Oh, that's right.
We love pictures.
That's
oh, wait,
true.
wait.
It's true, and I'd go in other people's houses. and there'd be
When you went in Westminster, you think the town is more about Westminster over there is 25,000 for today.
next to it, so I think I agree with him. What's next?
Oh, you guys sound like lawyers. I said, Mike said this. No, well, actually.
I got two.
How about Bill Clinton?
She sprained her ankle last night.
I can put a figure 8 on your ankle over your side. Right.
Want me to go with you?
Why, this is your first lesson, child.
Mine was 375. How about you pick?
If it's too tired or too loose, you know, I just leave that roll too.
I might give you an taxi between 7 and 8. What would it cost us to get a taxi from Chester to here? She has our 2 taxis. There being 7 of you.
There's
So
5
if
to
it's 3 or 4. Everything from here to Canadian. I reckon you could get about £4 say. Which isn't extortionate if you get between 4 people, £1 something each. Towns are around £1.50 per person. Count the £2 and then I think easy. That's the 6:30. Order a couple of taxis because it's in a hotel. Well, I'm a receptionist. I'm trying to get through it in half an hour. The only thing is to throw everything on is if they're late coming back. What to instruct them? They're not usually limited. You're in a little road. It's like part of Bishop District. Going into Liberties. Argyle Street. And there's a major road, Oxford Street. So on that corner you'll find taxis. If not, just look to Regent Street, which is parallel with Argyle Street. It's perpendicular to Oxford Street. And you'll find taxis there. You'll buy 2 major roads. So you'll be able to hotels address. Well, you should have the little cards which you show when you come up and get your keys. Oh. And they have the address. Councillor, are you again? You're not actually down as a councillor. No, I know that you work the actors. Don't worry, I'll never look at these. Every one of them.
Fill out what? What you bought?
I have one pen, but I was actually never using it.
I'll read some of these.
I'll do it. I've got one.
Yeah, so that was Jamie. Jamie didn't
All right.
I thought I'll come here.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do
He was a younger brother of King Henry V, and he had this very important library, lots of rare documents in it. It was lost during the excesses of the Reformation, but then Thomas Bodley got it back together again and reamassed it, and so that shows there too. One of the reasons that this is so famous, this spot in Oxford, is because of its place to do it because it's by far cheaper than going to the shops down the high street. You'll find them far less in price, but the same quality. And it looks like there's a couple of groups going to go into Brasenose ahead of us, so I think we'll do it now rather than when we come out of Brasenose. So if any of you want to buy, this is your chance to do it. And one of these young ladies, these lovely young ladies, will explain to you what's what and how much they cost, all right? So if you all sort of listen, then you shouldn't have to keep repeating it every time.
99, they go from small to extra large. Then go on to a 2-colour print, which is £10.99, again from small to extra large. Then a small embroidered crest, which also comes in white, they're £13.99. Then we go what we call a self-colour, comes in 5 colours, and that's £15.99, small to extra large again. Then we've got what we call a heavyweight, that comes in 4 colours, medium to extra large, that's £24.99. And we have a special collection which also comes in a t-shirt. The t-shirt is £16.99, the sweatshirt is £26.99. Rugby jerseys, like the one hanging up there, are £26.99. T-shirt starts at £4.99, £6.99. The Oxford Blades one, which is all the colleges in Oxford that row, with their blade, that's £11.99 and £16.99 in a sweatshirt. The self-colour embroidered